Welcome to the Knuckleheads of Liberty.
But apparently the military has a problem with their printers. They literally have these overruns with contractors where apparently they are listing some of the printers at $1 million. Some of these budgetary things. So I guess there's confusion between the contractors are saying the printers cost, few $100. Apparently the military is listing them on their inventories at like $1 million a
I
printer.
mean,
So, yes, you wonder where all this stuff goes. And I'm wondering, are they just selling $1 million printers because they think they can print billions with them? I don't know. What do you guys think?
or it was suggested just recently that this is how the government hides its black operations. Those that are off the books. So they say this thing costs $1 million, but really truly it costs maybe a few $100, and then the rest of the money go to some R&D project somewhere without anybody knowing it. I don't want to be conspiratorial because I don't follow this sort of conspiratorial logic, but they're saying this is how money is shifted around without accountability. But I don't believe that. But anyway, since the beginning of time, government have always been inefficient at handling the taxpayers' money. And we don't have good accounting systems to take care of that because the people who are handling the money, it's not their money. So they don't have to care about it. So when I dealing with my little $1,000 or my $200 or $300, I'm gonna care about it. Okay. But when they're dealing with my $200, which I pay to them through taxes, they don't have to care about it because it's not their money. So since the beginning of time, governments have been doing this, and they're just continuing the process, that nasty process of using other people's money for all sorts of things that they're not supposed to be using it for, and just destroying the value of the currency that is being used to pay for goods and services in the United States.
Yeah, good point. Um, yeah, as far as purposely hiding certain budgetary line items like black ops or something like that, or not, I'm not privy to that information one way or another for sure. It's potentially logical, but the main thing is, I have friends that aren't flying the flight hours they need to stay current in military aircraft as fighter pilots and the like. And you can that's just common knowledge that the average hours per month has dropped off quite a bit in preparation to prepare our pilots and keep them current. And that's just one little example. And then, maybe this is why the founders didn't like a standing army, because they're going to buy $1 million printers in the future. They presciently forecast with a crystal ball. But meanwhile, the Marine Corps is just, they're just the bad, the evil stepchild, and they just sit there and make do with their little crumbs that they get. Yes. And I don't think they're buying $1.1 million printers. They can barely get along, but they do, and they still do the job. So, I don't know. This is what happens when you have this massive leviathan of government, and it just sucks the life out of the economy and everything else.
Yes.
And in so many different ways. This is just probably one little tiny way that you have this massive amount of fraud, waste, and abuse in this leviathan, gigantic, enormous government, great God, almighty great God government that we, and especially those on the left, love to feed.
Yeah.
And to add insult to injury, we give these people trillions of dollars of tax dollars every year to manage whatever they need to do in terms of running the federal government and the state government. We give up so much of our money, okay? And these people still talk about it's not enough. They're still talking about they have certain people not paying their fair share. Well, do something about the fraud and the waste and abuse that is going on within the federal government, and let us see us that you are actively doing something about those things, and then you could talk about people paying more. Don't be having you spending $1 million supposedly on a printer, and then telling us we're not paying our fair share. So what the hell would be our fair share? You want a $2 million printer? Is that what you want?
God, think what the ink cartridges cost for that thing. I mean, usually that's the loss leader, the printer.
Yeah, the printer's
mean,
the loss leader, exactly.
Well, imagine too the budgetary supervisor on this. They're just rubber stamping these things to say $1 million.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, always and forever.